all parties declare. But it is very careful, some element of transparency. How? Because we have to begin.
Mr. Mehta, in fact, I was just going through some papers. There was a very interesting discussion why the trust scheme came into force, how the trusts, in fact, in 1996, one big group, corporate group, with over 100 companies has set up a trust.
Correct.
And
Tata,
closed-
let us, yes.
I didn't want to take it. So and the money from all those trust companies or the group companies will come in the trust, and then they will distribute and give it to different parties. The idea behind the trust was that the trust may be of 5 or more than 5, the money will come into the trust will then distribute the money, so nobody knows. The companies will give instructions to the trust to give to A, B or C party, but nobody knows which company has given that money. But what happened was 2013 scheme of the Election Commission made it mandatory to disclose which company is directed to give the payment. So that scheme virtually failed because of that. It had a contrary impact.
Yes, my lord, but still, as a matter
That's somebody's point of view. I'm not saying that's a right point of view or wrong point of view.
No, correct, my lord. But as a matter of fact, my lord, my lord, the trust scheme still continues. One can have trust, and the same system can be adopted. Few companies can gather together and create a trust. Trust is a misnomer. It's a Section 25 company. Nothing turns on that, but it is nomenclature is trust. Lord, but one fact, my lord, inadvertently, my lord, we admit that the moment the question of disclosure of the donor comes, the scheme fails. As, my lord, it failed in trust. Because that is the disincentive, my lord. The incentivizing factor for the purpose of paying by cash is, my lord, secrecy, the confidentiality. Contractor wants to donate to Congress would have an apprehension that BJP might continue to be in power or vice versa. If he gives donation to the ruling party in Madhya Pradesh, he might have a element of fear that Congress might form the government. That confidentiality the donor wants to ensure. And that is not for me to judge. That is for the lawmakers to judge. And the lawmakers felt in the parliament that this is the most incentivized way of black money generation and black money payment in the political process. That's their view.
But what about the voters' right? As Justice Chagla has pointed out,
My lord, let me conclude.
long years back.
My lord, that is a wider choice, my lord. But that would be a separate debate. My lord, voters' right, my lord, is to know what party gets what information. I would not choose to vote for a particular party because Mr. X, the contractor, has given electoral contribution to a party. Well, that's an utopian dream. That's an idealistic dream. We have to formulate a policy based on practicalities involved. Well, otherwise, we will not be able to, my lord, your lordships have a very heavy responsibility on your lordship's shoulders. That is encouraging clean money to come into the system and discouraging those elements which compelled the people to use the black money. So, my lord, the transparency, democratic principles, right to know, etc., they are idealistic things, and I bow down to those principles. But when we formulate a policy, we must formulate a policy, my lord, which balances purity of election is supreme over right to know. Voter votes not based upon which party is funded by whom. Voter votes based upon the ideology of the party, the principles of the party, the leadership of the party, the efficiency of the party, and how, my lord, the business houses vote, whether this party's government is giving me a sufficiently good environment to secure my investment. It's not always quid pro quo. As a businessman, I would choose that this party government, whenever it is formed, there is red tapeism, there is corruption, there is interference by the ministers, there is interference by the MLAs. As against that, X party, when it forms the government, it is policy-based decisions, not individual-based decisions. My investment is secured. There is a business-friendly environment, less red tapeism, and therefore I would like this government to be formed. And that's the business interest of every business owner. I'll read further, because